Our last lesson, we looked at how stack works in Java. Today, we're gonna try and implement the stack manually. So we're gonna use stack, the same example, but we're gonna manually build the stack class as opposed to using it from the Java utility package. So to get started, first I'm gonna copy our last project over. I'm gonna do copy and I'm gonna paste it in. Balance string 2. So our last class we did the balance string. Now we're gonna do balance string 2. And as you can see here, in this example, we're using the Java utils stack package to get the stacked type from that package. So now I'm gonna delete this import. I'm not gonna use the import, but I'm gonna create my own class, stack class. So I'm gonna do class stack. So I'm actually building my own class called stack, and I'm gonna use a character array. Let's call it ARR. And I'm going to use an integer to indicate the next position that I'm going to load. Right? So those are the two values in my stack class. I have an array and I have a next position. So now I'm gonna need a constructor. So it's gonna be stack character. Let's also call it ARR. And I need another parameter for the next position. So basically I'm building my constructor here, and I'm just gonna set this ARR equals to the ARR being passed in, and this P equals to the variable P being passed in. Okay, so that's my constructor. Now I'm gonna need two different methods. I'm gonna need a push and a pop method. So the push is not gonna return anything, so it's gonna be void and we're passing in the value to be stored into the stack. So the value is a character, and I'm naming it the letter A for the value for the variable. So in here we're just gonna say, well, first what we want to do is we want to check to make sure that there is no stack overflow. So if your stack is full, then we want to return like an error message. So I'm gonna check to see if there's any overflow. So I'm checking the position, my next position, versus the length of the array. So if my position is greater than the length of the array, then I'm gonna have to send out a message. And let's say stack overflow. And I'm just gonna return from here. So I'm not gonna do anything if there's an overflow. Otherwise, I'm gonna do the push. So to do the push, I'm just gonna store the value into the next element. So the next element is of index P, and the value being passed in is A. So I'm storing the value of the variable A into the next element of the array. So the array is ARR and the index is P. And then I'm just gonna increment the index. So that's my push method. Next, I'm gonna do the pop method. So the pop method is gonna return a character. And basically, I also wanna check for overflow, or in this case, I want to check for this when the stack is empty. If the stack is empty and they want to do a pop, then I want to send a message also. So if P, which is the next position, if it's less than or equal to 0, I would want to send a message. And let's say stack is empty. And I'm just gonna return a blank if the stack is empty. Right, so I'm just returning a blank. Otherwise, if there's no problem, if the stack is not empty, then I'm gonna return the value of the element, the value of the last element. So my current element, the next element is P, so P is empty, so I want to return the previous element, which is minus P. Okay, so that's my stack class. It consists of 2 variables and 2 constructor and 2 methods, a push and a pop. Okay, so that's all I need. Now going to the main, basically the main is the same as the other one. The only thing I need to change here is I need to change this one. So since I'm not using stack from the Java utility package anymore, so I'm gonna use the stack from my class that I have created up here. So I'm gonna do stack, which is the class name, and I'll give it a variable name, which is s, and it's gonna equal to new stack, and here I'm gonna have to pass in these parameters here. So you see, when you do new stack, you're gonna call this constructor here. So I need to pass in a character array and an integer P. So I'm gonna start my new stack with a character array. So we can say, let's say a new character array of 50 elements. And I want to start my next position at position 0. So that's what I'm passing in when I create this new, when I instantiate this variable s of type stack. Alright, and I believe that the rest are basically the same as before. It should work just the way it is. So let's give it a try and run this and see how it looks. So I just want to run it from here just to make sure I'm running the correct program, Java application. And I don't want to debug, I want to run as Java application. Alright, so it says the string is balanced, and let's see if that is correct. So it's this one we're using right now, because you see this string is being commented out. The not balanced string is being commented out. So this one is balanced, and it says the string is balanced. So now let's test the other scenario. So I'm gonna comment this out just as we did in our last lesson. And we're gonna uncomment this one. And I'm gonna try and run it again. Balance string 2. Not balanced. Okay, so and that's what we expected. This string is not balanced. Okay, so that's how we implement our own stack class. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.